Welcome to the Plymouth Select Board meeting Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. Please join the board with a pledge to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Canty, please read the governor's.
Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, an act relative to extending certain
Just to check
COVID-19
that.
measures adopted during the state of emergency, signed into law on March 29th, 2023, this meeting is being conducted via remote means and in person. Members of the public who wish to watch the meeting may do so in the following manner. Tune into PAC TV Government Cable Access, Channel 15, Verizon Channel 47, to watch the meeting aired live, or watch the meeting at PAC TV's website, https://pactv.org. Members of the public who wish to participate in the meeting may either join us in person at the Great Hall here at Town Hall, or remotely via Zoom at the link provided in our agenda that is posted on the town website.
Thank you, Mr. Canty. Mr. Brindisi, who's going to speak to the Seaside Trail donation?
Mr. Gould will.
Okay.
Good evening. For the record, David Gould, Director of Marine and Environmental Affairs. I wanted to let the board know of what I think is an extremely generous gift. We've had businesses and other groups over the years provide funding for, bargain sales of land and other things, but I personally have never experienced what happened recently. We had a gentleman who came into our office and was excited about the work that was going on at the Seaside Trail and wanted to provide some additional funding for plantings and benches. And so I was thinking, a couple $100 here and there. And he actually wrote a check for us for $15,000, which was incredibly generous. He's a gentleman by the name of Arthur G. Shaw Jr. He is in his 90s. He's a Plymouth resident. What I think is most interesting, he's in his mid-90s. He came in last week because he wanted to see if we had already started yet, and I said we hadn't even got it on before you. He said he would be watching tonight, but what I thought was also very funny was he said he was leaving our office to go out and walk the trail as soon as he was done talking to me. So pretty excited with that. He likes that area, and it's not very often we have someone who donates that much money, so wanted to make sure that he received some public kudos from everyone for being so kind and generous to the town. So we'll start acquiring the plants and benches and putting that all together this summer and fall, so that he can go and see what his donations did for the town. So just wanted you to all be aware of that.
Well, David, I want to commend you again on a great job. I drive through there quite a bit, and I have to be cautious because there's a lot of people actually using that down there. Mm-hmm. And it looks great from what I can see. I haven't walked it yet, so maybe when you all walk it together, you can put a memo out to us. I'd like to join you. I'd like to meet the gentleman.
Absolutely.
And Derek, I'd like to send a thank you letter on behalf of the town, and I'll sign it for you.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Blitzer?
I'd like to echo what Dick just said about that trail. It's beautiful. You can bike, you can walk. It connects right down to Cottage, and it's fantastic for the town. It's really a beautiful scenic walk too, and we needed that last piece. It really come out nice, and this donation right here will help beautify it even more. And it's people like this gentleman, Mr. Shaw, is the reason why I love Plymouth. He's a resident that loves this town, and this is his way of giving a little something back to his town. And I hope he sticks around he's 96, but I hope he's got a lot of good years left in him, and he can use that trail. So, Mr. Shaw, if you're listening, thank you very much for your donation.
Anyone else? No?
Sorry to disagree with anything.
Also.
Okay. Mr. Canty?
I live in North Plymouth, and I frequent that area a lot, particularly that trail on good days during good weather. So I appreciate the area a lot. I personally have not appreciated it to the amount that I would give $15,000 to the town for it. So I really appreciate Mr. Shaw doing that. That means a lot. It'll benefit a lot of people. When I do go there, it is frequented by a lot of folks, both residents and out-of-towners. So it's going to be a real asset to Plymouth, and I really would like to thank him for beautifying, helping to beautify an area of town that I live in and benefit from, and that a lot of Plymouth benefits from.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to the licenses.
Did you have a motion to accept that donation? I missed that.
Oh, do we?
Yes.
Okay.
Make a motion? Second.
Motion made by Mr. Blitzer, seconded by Mr. Mahoney. Discussion. Seeing none. Mr. Blitzer.
Yes.
Mr. Helm.
Yes.
Mr. Canty.
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney. Yes. And myself, yes. Unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to licenses, we have 3. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyone wishing to speak on the public comment? See, Harry, I knew what I was doing. Is there anybody online that's looking to,
Not
not that
not
we
to our
know of?
knowledge, but
Okay.
if
All right.
you don't mind, I know that tonight's a light agenda, and we do have Mr. Gould, and part of my town manager report was to give an update on the plovers, but I think he would do a much better job than I would, so with
Right.
the permission of this chair, David, if you could give an update on the plovers on Whitehorse?
Absolutely.
Hello again. So the plover nest on Whitehorse Beach has 4 eggs that we've been checking on daily. The expectation was that it would hatch at some point this week, so we coordinated with the different departments in town, including Parks, yesterday. So we checked on the nest. After we did that yesterday morning, Parks came and removed those barrels because they won't be able to drive in proximity to the nest once the chicks hatch out. So that was coordinated yesterday. We had some additional signage installed, signs to remind people to leash their dogs and that vehicles wouldn't be able to drive within that area. So those were installed. We checked on the nest this afternoon and actually started hatching out this afternoon. So those chicks will be out and about soon running around the beach. So we'll be checking on it every day to make sure that the chicks are good and the brood is good and documenting that. So we remain in compliance with all the regulations. But that nest is proving to be successful. So hopefully, those chicks will be able to fledge, and we'll be able to say that we actually fledged some chicks from Whitehorse Beach this year.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions or comments? Thank you. Moving on to licenses. A motion from the board, or what's the pleasure?
Just licenses?
Yes, for right now.
Remove the 3 licenses as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Mahoney, second by Mr. Helm. Discussion? Mr. Blitzer?
Yes.
Mr. Helm?
Yes.
Mr. Canty?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Moving on to administrative notes, I believe, notes 2 and 3. Mr. Canty, you'd like to?
Yeah, I'd
speak
like,
to?
if we're going to take these as a group, as we often do, I'd like to separate notes 2 and 3 separately and take them individually at a subsequent to the other group.
Okay, so the group, motion by Mr. Canty, second by Mr. Mahoney, to take administrative notes 2 and 3 separately. So this vote will be for 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. They were yeah,
Oh, no, I didn't get the, okay.
yep, that was, they were added on. Okay, so, discussion? We good?
12.
Okay.
It's a regular vote.
Discussion? Seeing none? Mr. Blitzer?
Yes.
Mr. Helm?
Yes.
Mr. Canty?
Yes.
And Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And myself, yes. Now back to Mr. Canty. on administrative note 2.
Yes, so administrative note 2 is dealing with Long Beach 4x4 parking sticker eligibility policy. Note 3 will deal with the resident beach parker sticker eligibility policy. The issue with both that I wanted to take individually is consistent through both, but we'll deal with them individually. So in terms of note 2, if you turn to the third page, under section 3.6.1, it came to us separately.
Yeah, and I've read them. I've read them, but the assumption, I guess I should have told them my printer doesn't work.
I can read the relevant portion that I'm
Okay.
making an issue of or bringing to the board's attention to address. So this is dealing with replacement stickers, that section of the policy. It currently reads, the relevant section that I'm seeking to adjust currently reads, replacement stickers are available for a fee in the case of an accident, sale, or window replacement. And then goes on to list other criteria. I would suggest that accident should be changed to a total loss of the vehicle. Later in the same section, total loss of vehicle is referenced, but above it's just an accident. Accident is obviously broad. That could involve a paint transfer, a fender bender, or what's intended, I think, was actually a total loss of the vehicle. But rather than just having that be the intention and leaving that vagary for someone to potentially, of a less honest would-be 4x4, we could just make it a total loss of the vehicle and make it cleaner from the jump. So that would be, I would be seeking to make a motion that we approve the policy, but amend that language from an accident to a total loss of the vehicle. And I am available for questions or a second.
How do you feel about a change in registration where somebody trades a car in, has the same license plate number, but has a new vehicle?
A replacement sticker, bill of sale is covered under the policy. So
Is that a bill of sale?
if you're trading in and you're getting a new car, yeah.
Do you have a bill of sale that you sold your other car? Or, that you traded it in?
We're
I'm not sure if
open,
that's
yeah.
technically a bill of sale.
We're open to take a documentation that lays it out for us appropriately.
Okay, because I don't know if technically that transaction is a bill of sale. It's a change of registration that is handled by the dealership. And that is that's a definite example that has happened several times recently. So, I mean,
As long as we have proof of the transaction,
proof of transaction.
yes. We'll be okay with that.
Yeah, it says that under, you must bring in a valid entity showing the transaction. And then
Okay.
it clarifies with the bill of sale.
Yeah, those are examples.
Those are examples, but they're not, it's not an exhaustive list.
Okay.
They're just exemplars.
And just to expand on this, Mr. Canty, a couple months ago, a couple people came in asking about this. They traded in their cars over the last year or so, didn't have a beach sticker. The policy as it read was you had to have a piece of the sticker for it. Obviously, if you sell your car and it goes to New Hampshire, who knows where it's getting shipped to, it's gone. You can't trace that back. So this policy, we think, brings in a lot of common sense approach to it. And again, people will be truthful with us, we hope. So that's what we're going to move forward with.
So, can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
So you're in favor of this change?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just want to make clear on that. Okay, I'm all set.
That's it.
I have
Go
another
ahead,
question,
Mr. Allen.
for the Assistant Town Manager. It mentions fee. It doesn't mention a specific fee. Are you talking about the $5, currently, the $5 fee? Of course, that could change with time.
Correct.
That's what you're talking about?
Correct.
Not the $50 buy a new one?
Exactly. I actually
Okay.
had that noted. There'll still be a fee for the
Yep.
replacement costs.
Good.
But that's it, not the full sticker cost.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Just made my life easier.
For you, it's 55.
Okay, any other questions? So did you make a motion, Kevin?
I made a motion to approve the policy, but amend that an
that
accident to a
language.
total loss of the vehicle.
Okay.
And I was awaiting a second if I
Right, I
could.
thought so.
Thank you.
Seconded by Mr. Blitzer. Discussion. Mr. Blitzer?
Yes,
Mr. Helm?
Yes.
Mr. Canty?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And myself, yes.
So then with admin note 3, it's, in this, it is also on the third page. It is section 3.5.1, and it's the exact same language that I'm seeking to change in the exact same way. Replacement stickers are available for a fee in the case of an accident, sale, or window replacement. I would suggest an accident be replaced by a total loss of the vehicle for the same reasons.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Helm?
Yes.
Was that a vote or?
no.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought your light go on, Harry.
Because I turned it on in
I'm sorry.
anticipation
I
of having my
apologize.
name called.
All right.
Why you went out.
All right. Discussion? Mr. Blitzer?
yes,
Mr. Helm?
Yes.
Mr. Canty?
Yes.
Mr. Mahoney?
Yes.
And myself, yes.
I won't go mute, turning it on.
Sorry, Harry. Select Board open discussion. New business?
I'd like to make a public acknowledgement if I could.
Okay, Mr. Blitzer.
We got a letter, Ann Schlesser sent a letter that we all got, and I want to publicly acknowledge Mr. Don Williams and the Heron Ponds Watershed Association for their generous donation to the Plymouth, the town recreation department for their half-day program located at Hedges Pond, Plymouth, Mass. And I just want to thank that group for their support of our town and our recreation department. Thank you.
Anyone else have anything under new business? Letters? Old business? You have a town manager's report, Derek? Yes.
Yeah, I do have a few things I can just bring
Okay.
to the board's attention, if you don't mind. So the first thing, you all should have received notice, but if the folks in the community haven't heard, the Neo Trinidad ship is now tied up at the town wharf. So this is the Spanish tall ship. It came here today, so July 11th to July 23rd. They will be holding tours from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So if you have a chance to go down there, take a look at the ship. It's tied up to the southern part of the wharf, not impeding any of our winches. So we have no problems with our lobstermen and fishermen with this ship. As far as Stevens Field, Mr. Gould informed me this morning that the bid opening will be July 27th for Stevens Field, so the bid is out. Hopefully we'll get good bids and we can start that project towards the end of the summer. Chief Flynn and Chief Foley both reported today that the dispatch 911 transition is going extremely well. So some of you had attended the ribbon cutting ceremony that was held on June 30th over at the Sheriff's Department. And just to recap for folks in the community, the Sheriff's Department now handles the town's 911 dispatch center, and it has cut our response times substantially down. And again, both chiefs had initially anticipated having a transition period up to 60 days. Given how well it's going, they're thinking that that transition period will be no more than 30 days. Again, they're very happy how things have gone.
Well, the fourth, Derek? 'Cause that would be a test day for sure.
Yes, it went, in fact, they said that on June 30th was probably the biggest test. They had a number of emergency medical calls in the first couple hours. In fact, one of them was a life flight that they had to call in, I think it was over on Clark Road. So they've been tested, and I think we had a structure fire later on that afternoon. So again, they've been tested and they've responded. So again, it's going extremely well. Our IT department, under Joe Young's leadership, has been supporting it and providing IT support as well. So they couldn't ask for more. So this is a great decision, and really thank the board for the support with using ARPA dollars to make this happen. Without those dollars, this would not have been able to happen. So we appreciate that support as well.
And, you know, just to go back a little in time, it was actually saw during COVID time that, you know, the response times were, that those people were really struggling, working 3 shifts, one after another.
Right.
And it was
Yeah.
getting to be a concern of getting some more employees, and, you know, so I'm glad for the sake of the town and everybody involved and everybody's hard work, including yourself, putting it together with the chief. Job well done. I was there for the ribbon cutting, Mr. Canty, and were you there, Charlie? Well, you missed one. So anyway, I can't remember, but it was a nice day, and that's what I was saying, everybody, you know. Let's, you know, I was concerned with the 4th of July coming, but I saw fire personnel working with one side of the center and police dispatchers working with the other, and I'm glad that it's working for the better of everybody.
And that's actually a great point. You hear stories of Chief Flynn. He talked about during the pandemic years, I mean, the dispatchers, they only had 6 of them working around the clock, running 24-hour shifts. So this made a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. The report that came in this morning, that a lot of the dispatchers they've been able to recruit are coming from other dispatch centers in the region. So they're already been able to recruit and now retain some highly qualified dispatchers. So this isn't just a bunch of new dispatchers walking in, and these are very qualified people because of the type of center and I think the package that was offered to the dispatchers. So again, we couldn't have asked for more. So this is a great decision.
And I'd just like to give credit to the leadership, you know, our town manager, assistant town manager, and our chiefs working together on this. You know, as the board, we voted, we listened to everybody, and I believe that this was not only a win for the town and the residents of the town, but it was a win for the employees too. It was going to be a better situation, more chances for promotions and money. So it worked out, both sides, I think, won on this, but it's a credit to the chiefs, but also, as Derek said, the dispatchers that, and how hard they work and how dedicated they are to the town of Plymouth. So I'd like to thank them publicly. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So moving on, staying in the public safety arena, we had 4 officers graduated this past Friday at Memorial Hall. And so those 4 new police officers are now in the field training component of being police officers. So they'll be in the field training for a couple months, and then after that they'll be given their own routes here in town. That still leaves a vacancy of still 8 more vacancies on the police side. So we've called for a civil service list. We're hoping to fill some of those vacancies with the current list. But again, this is, I feel like the chief has been chasing filling up police vacancies for some time now. It's better than it was a year ago. March of '22, I remember the chief telling me we had 22 vacancies on the police side. So again, doing the best that we can to fill all the vacancies here in town. Speaking of the 4th of July festivities, so things went well on the 4th overall. White Horse Beach, as you know, the public safety departments have a major presence down in the White Horse Beach area. Things were relatively quiet. We had less than 10 arrests at White Horse Beach on that night, so we thought that went well as well. As far as the DPW, the last time the DPW was here, they talked about the pavement management program. And so we promised that we would continue to remind the community as we move forward with the pavement management program. So starting on the week of July 17th, we will be laying the rubber chip seal on a couple different roads, so I'll just cite those quickly. Long Pond Road from Halfway Pond to Hedges Pond Road will be rubber chip sealed. Lunds Way, Sweeney Lane, Gabriel Lane, Nathan Lane, Kim Circle, Joyce Drive, Lynn Circle, Arthur Circle, Welton Drive, Thompson Circle, Jennifer Circle, and Moraski Lane, again, rubber chip seal. And then going back to Long Pond Road from Pisces Lane to Herring Pond Road and Carter's Bridge Road will be rubber chip seal. And then Carver Road from Summer Street to Samoset Street. And then lastly, Jan Marie Drive, Jacqueline Lane, and J Street will all also be rubber chip seal. So this rubber chip seal, it's a more cost-effective way to really extend the life, as you know, of our roads. But it does come with some complaints, especially the first 24 hours. It's very tacky. And, you know, we get complaints from dog owners that this rubber tar, I'll call it, is sticking to the paw. So we'll try to put as much information as we can out there as we rebuild those roads so folks are aware of the type of material that we're using. And then, since we're talking DPW, with the chair's permission, we'd like to have the DPW director come in on July 25th and provide an update. There's a lot of DPW projects not on Water Street that are taking place. So for example, the Manament water main project is going to start at the end of July, and then we have the Brook Road Bridge project as well that's going to start as well. So we thought it'd be best for the DPW director to come in here, give a brief overview of all the different projects, just to, again, inform the community as to what's going on. And then last, I just want to mention that, you know, we have a number of these electric vehicle charging stations around the downtown area. And up until now, up until July 1st, they've been free for anyone who owned an electric vehicle. Effective this month, we're going to start charging for the cost of the electricity will be charged to the user with an additional $2 administration fee. And that $2 admin fee will be put into a special account that we'll use for future infrastructure upgrades. So again, folks have enjoyed free charging for years now. We are getting a lot of use out of those charging stations. I think, one, because people understand where they are, but two, we're starting to see more electric vehicles out on the roads, so the demand is higher. So we have started charging effective this past month.
I have to ask the question, don't we have some of those at the schools, in the parking areas? Are they going to follow suit with us?
We
or-
do. It's actually, we manage those. So
we'll be,
it's anything that we own, we'll be charging for. And again, we've gotten some feedback we've gotten hasn't been pleasant, but at the same time, when you replace one of those, just the nozzle head is
I
about
know.
$7 or $8 grand. So there was grant funding that used to be available, that's drying up. So that's why we're implementing the $2 per charge. And again, when you buy these, people are expecting to pay for their electric anyway. So it's a battle, we just gotta go over the storm right now.
okay, yeah, I know they're expensive. I sat on the PGDC for years, so does Charlie, and we lost the one up here. And, yeah, it's expensive to maintain those.
And if I can add on that, I don't think it's about affordability. I think it's about accessibility. So I think the more charging stations we can afford to have here, we should have. And I don't think the folks mind paying for those stations at all. They just want to have access to it. So it's they've worked out well. It's been a huge success. So hopefully we can get some income. We can get some more of those stations in town.
We do, and if you guys remember, you approved a funding source, I think of about 14 or 15 grand, that's gonna add, I think, 5 or 6 more up
There you
top,
go.
and we're gonna continue to expand.
Perfect.
And then also too, one thing
They
that.
get free parking there too. They can park there too.
I gotta verify that. That was one thing, that a complaint that we got, that they're still paying for Park Plymouth up here and then also on Brewster Street, so I gotta verify that. But we should work with Park Plymouth on that to see if there's a compromise we can come up with, because we
Well-
may be able to cover that in what we charge.
Like I said, I don't think it's about the affordability part. I think they just want to have access to those
Yep.
stations.
And speaking of access, one thing we implemented as well is, after you're fully charged, we give you a half hour to come pick up your vehicle, and if you don't, there's an overstay charge. So you start on the rolls, you get a notification on your phone, says your vehicle's 100% charged, you have a half hour to come pick it up after that. If you don't, it starts a clock and it's $10 per hour. So we want to get people moving for accessibility purposes.
Better than a $30 ticket, I guess, but anyway, but hopefully it all works out, so we need those stations.
Anything else, Derek?
Pending any questions, that's all I have tonight.
Mr. Mahoney?
Derek, you mentioned the new tall ship that's coming to visit the harbor. I don't know if this has already been said, but can you provide the board with the time and date of arrival of the first visit for the American Cruise Line ship, so that we know when that's going down? Because that's something I really want to be down on the wharf for. Second, you said DPW is coming for an update 14 days from now. If and when the finance director were to come in front of this board in the future for an update, obviously one of the things that I would ask her is, after the presentation from a couple of weeks ago from Sheila and James, telling us that we had $8 million, I believe, this year to invest in roads, and then all of a sudden there's a significant question mark for subsequent fiscal years, that would certainly be a question that I'm going to have of Lynn, if there's a plan for moving forward beyond this year. And then the third thing, and I know that this is everybody's favorite philosophical question, you know, what came first, the general fund or the earmark? But just out of curiosity, because we've talked about this numerous times, now the $2 administration fee is being put into a special fund for future infrastructure investment. How did that happen? Who made that decision? I disagree with it, but I'm just, how did that originate?
I'll answer that question. So you're talking the infrastructure for the EV vehicles we just talked about?
Yes.
Yes, so that's going to be a request coming to the board for revolving account to be set up at fall town meeting. So it's coming your way.
Okay, thank you. And so I'll answer the other two questions. So right now, we are scheduled, we're tracking American Cruise Lines to arrive on August 19th. And August 26th will be their second arrival. Their last arrival will be September 2nd. So those 3 Saturdays in a row. We are told that it'll come into the harbor on 5 p.m. I would imagine that the first arrival, there'll be some more publicity around it, but more to come on that.
And just a follow-up question, I know Mr. Gould is out there and he's not the harbor master, but certainly I would like also, you know, the lowest tide out of those 3 dates, because I think that's going to be a significant variable, is that the one visit with the lowest tide, how does that size vehicle, you know, maneuver its way in through those
Sure.
various obstacles?
Yep, it's a good question. And so the last question you had was about town finances. So just to remind the board, we are scheduled to meet on July 25th. We'll come back on August 8th, and then again on August 22nd. Now, one of the dates, we talked about holding a municipal finance workshop, not a board meeting, but a workshop, where Ms. Barrett is preparing a presentation to go over revenues and projected expenditures for the board for consideration. So we could hold an off-calendar meeting, so what I'm proposing is potentially August 15th, so that we don't interfere with board business on the 22nd, but potentially August 15th to have the finance workshop, if the board is amenable to that. Okay, scheduled.
Mr. Canty?
The fall town meeting warrant closes on August 11th, right?
Yes, sir.
So we might need to add meetings before that date to approve any of our articles that we want to put on there.
So the warrant will close, but we don't, I'd have to check, the warrant doesn't have to be executed until.
Not to execute, not to sign it, but to, any initiatives that we're going to put forward, we need to meet our own deadline. We hold other people to that deadline. We need to-
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, so the warrant opens on the 25th, so next meeting. And then August 2nd would be the following Tuesday, which we're not scheduled to meet, and then August 8th. So I would say that no later than August 8th, maybe we should have an agenda item for board members to discuss articles that the board would like to add to the warrant. I think that's what I'm hearing you say.
Thank you.
So, again, I'll defer to the chair. If you'd like to have this as a standing agenda item for the 25th and the 8th, at minimum, that'll provide ample opportunity, I think, for board members to present any articles that they wish.
That's fine. Anything else?
No.
I just want to reach out to the July 4th committee and thank all the volunteers that worked very hard. And a lot of us were at the parade, just different sections. And it was a nice parade, and I made it all the way to the end, and then it rained. But at least it was nice for the first 99.9 of it. And I know things didn't go good that night, I guess, but nobody can control Mother Nature. But hats off to them, a lot of hard work, and may the weather be good next year. Thank you for that, everybody on the committee, and thank our public safety. We're all on the job, it's mandatory. And our DPW departments that are out putting out the barrels and all the little things that nobody realizes unless you've done it. So thank you to all of you for taking time for your families, so everybody else can have a good time.
One more thing
Okay, Mr. Pletzer.
I just want to add one more thing. In fact, I sent a video to our town manager. The president of the White Horse Beach Association down by the Full Sail, the beach area down there, was very complimentary of the DPW and the work they did after the 3rd of July in cleaning that beach up. He sent me a video of the beach, and he was very thankful and wanted me to tell the DPW, all the workers, the director, thank you for all your hard work. Obviously, if the environmental people were involved, David, thank you. They really appreciate it down there. And also, it's a credit to those residents, too, because they police that area. They're very good about policing that area. So, but he wanted me to make sure I publicly thanked everybody. Thanks.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week, in 2 weeks, actually. Thank you. Have a good night.